That's slightly worrying. I just got an error when I tried to stream, which I've never seen before. So I'm gonna check to see I am actually live. Yeah, I am. We're live. Yeah, I am. Oh, wait, I am. Okay, cool. Okay, so Stanley Parable. Um, I've known about Stanley Parable since it was first released, and I have watched playthroughs of it before several times, numerous times. This is I. If you'd asked me a couple years ago, I probably would have had an encyclopedic knowledge of this game. You know, I've watched plenty of playthroughs of it by many people going for 100% completion and all. Um, and then there's Ultra Deluxe, which released how many years ago now? Two or three? Which is really cool when that came out. And I again watched people play that. Granted, not nearly as much. I watched RT Games playthrough and I watched a couple of other like highlight videos. But that's it. So I only actually watched RT Games playthrough, but I did watch it like twice. Well, I haven't watched it in a while, so I'm a little less familiar with the Ultra Deluxe content. But I do know, I probably do know most stuff going into this, which is a little bit unfortunate. But I saw it was on sale. Oh, well, okay, so the other day, a dude messaged me on Instagram with a suggestion of Wonder Stop, which I was like, all right, I'll Google Wonder Stop, and it popped up Dave Reedon and C418, and I was like, whoa, those are some pretty fucking big names. Fucking developed in Unreal with only visual coding, which is what I'm doing, for 7 years. And I was like, oh, right, that would make a lot of sense to look at. It's a farming game, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, I should really play Stanley Parable. So then I pulled up a Stanley Parable, and I was like, oh, it's on sale. I'll just buy it. And so I bought it. Um, yeah, so Dave Reedon is a really interesting character. Uh, I followed all of his games, other than Wonder Stop. That's because it came out really recently. I think I had seen a little bit of C418's soundtrack for it, though. Yeah, I'd actually listened to it. I didn't realize it was game soundtrack, but yeah, I listened to it. The beginner's guide, of course, I can't play it because it's PC only. It's like one of the games I wanted to play most in my entire life. I've watched playthroughs of a beginner's guide countless fucking times. So many times I've watched playthroughs of beginner's guide, and it still is fantastic to me. I make it a ritual. I watch it at least like once a year, at least. I just love watching the beginner's guide. It's a shame it will never see a console release like Stanley Parable because it's a very different kind of story. So it wouldn't benefit as much from one, and also it's shorter, uh, has less wide appeal probably, um, and also it can't really expand its content the way we have with Ultra Deluxe here. Yes, I'd love to play Beginner's Guide eventually. Now this is a difficult question because technically I have, but not really. I'm gonna go with no because there's probably a lot of the base game content. I'm actually probably more familiar with the Ultra Deluxe content at this point. Is this ball away, mate? I'll just leave it like there. Like I can still totally see that. Ah, here we go. An unfortunate thing, of course, there's gimmicks in this game which involve closing the game down. I don't know if that's going to be a problem for the stream, but I do remember there's some RT games playthrough setting the time. Uh, okay. Nope. It's 2:32. Right? The end is never the end is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Yeah, I'm probably more familiar. I remember the mind
427's
control
job
kind
was
of
simple.
idea,
He sat at his desk
and
in
something
room
about an endless
427
kind of hallway
and
which
pushed
can endlessly loop
buttons
through.
on
But I
Orders
think
came
I
to
don't
him
remember a
through
lot of the
monitor
base
on his
game.
desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This
It might
what
be a game
employee
where I really wish I
427
hadn't spoiled
did
myself.
every day of every month of every
Especially since I
year.
could have played
And although others might have
Ultra
considered it
Deluxe Blind.
soul-winning, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
It's just
Never in
narrator.
all his years at the company
Is he in
had
any
this
other
happened,
games?
this complete isolation.
He's
Something
such a
was very
fantastic
clearly
performance.
wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
That's weird. It's like I'm on fucking ice. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Don't you unlock a jump button in Ultra Deluxe?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I am wondering, because of course all playthroughs are watch a cup to hell. How long actually is it to do everything?
Truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself.
These shows are way
to
too
put
tall.
your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Oh.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the... Oh, no, you can't... Did you just unplug the phone?
Yeah,
That
I don't remember
supposed to
this.
be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice.
Who the fuck is named
He
Rupert?
could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Wait. I'm supposed to be having a back sack and crack.
Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant. and the feeling should subside.
Oh dear.
At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
See, like, I definitely will remember like a lot of like probably the bigger things. Like I'm so excited to get the broom closet ending, but there's other things which I probably, well, yeah, like this part I don't remember this.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Alright, bad timing, Mr. Narrator. I think my Wii just showed up. I ordered the Wii off eBay a week ago. I think it just showed up. Is that... Wait, let me check eBay. It's... I don't have something to open the package, but there's... I don't know what else this could be. Wait, one moment. I need to check this. Alright, let's do a little unboxing on stream. Let's find out if I was scammed on eBay or not. I got a Wii for 30 quid, which I thought was a pretty good deal. I kept most of my classic Wii games. And then I bought a couple more. Oh, this is a lot. I'm not going to end stream, but this does definitely mean I'll be ending stream earlier than probably originally planned. Let's set this up. Fucking package opening here tomorrow. Alright, what's all this? Okay. That's a sensor bar. That's a Wii sensor bar. Hopefully that works. That's the cover for the Wii remote. It's a Wii remote. Does have batteries in it. No, it does not have batteries. Okay, good to know. That's a nunchuck, and that's all the cables that go into the Wii. Alright. Cool. Alright, second thing. Okay, I think that's a power bank. Is this HDMI then? Oh God, I really hope this can actually is like compatible with my TV. I imagine it would be. How I might have to Google a guide on how to set up a fucking Wii. No, Lila, keep away from this. All right. No, Lila, please. No, 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 no licking electronics, Lila. No, no, Lila, fuck off. No. And also, the funny part about this is that I still actually have my original Wii. It's the wires that I need. I don't have any of the wires and shit anymore. But I figured I might as well just get everything. All right, and that's the Wii itself. A little bit dusty. Very dusty USB port. Christ, yeah, this is quite dusty. AV multi-out. Sensor bar. Christ, yeah, that is how it works, isn't it? Yeah, okay, so it's for white, red, and yellow, I like for HDMI cable, alright. I'm gonna take a real quick look to see if I can figure out where I would be plugging those in. White, red, and yellow. White, red, yellow. Alright. I know what I need to do to wire it up. Jolly good then. Let's put this all back in the box. Lila, please stop trying to lick the electronics, especially when I just bought them. You know what? I also bought a Wii Motion Plus, so I'll quickly just install that right now. Wonderful. Lock that in. Wonderful. Oh, it's not fitting the sleeve with the Motion Plus. Oh shit. Wait. Oh, never mind. Oh, let's remove Motion Plus. How the fuck do you even get the sleeve? Just shove it in there. Lila, fuck off. No, stop fucking with shit you don't understand. Oh, I see. Let's get back to it. Alright, sorry, what am I doing? So I'll probably end stream in like, sorry, but like 2 hours. Don't know why I'm apologizing. We going back to the start?
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
For some reason, the really bright light coming through the windows reminds me of Superhot.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that?
Is that
I can't
censored or just rubbed
out? I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Jolly good.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish.
Suddenly this reminds me of the opening Portal 2.
Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When
Did
Stanley
walking
came to a
backwards
set
actually
of
change
two
the
open
trigger?
doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would.
The door was
That
open
means
that one
choosing
time.
responsibly and always putting
I'm
the
gonna keep doing
story
it.
first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Or is he just delayed? No, okay, he's just delayed.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing
Alright, one more time.
responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, there's definitely nothing back here.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine.
So I wonder now,
All
at
right.
what stage do I unlock the
When
Ultra Deluxe
Stanley
content?
came to
Because
a set
I
of
remember
two
when
open
you...
doors, he entered the door on his left.
I assume if you press that you've played it before, then you immediately unlock it, but then, like, how do I unlock it otherwise? Do I need to get the Room Closet ending? I think that's
Yet
the
there was not a
funniest
single
fucking
person
joke
here
ever
either.
made by a human
Feeling
being.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Frankie. What? What is going on? Monetize free to play? No. Right. Oh, you bitch.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Wait. Was there... Okay. There's supposed to be a way down there, but there isn't. I remember this part. Got something cool about Ultra Deluxe, from what I remember, is that it not only does it add a whole new routes into a game, but it also goes back to a base game and adds extra stuff you can do.
Stepping inside his
Like, I think
manager's
there's some new
office,
stuff in this
Stanley
room.
was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
The cool swarm in this room is
unraveled,
completely different.
Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now
Shout out
he would
environment
draw from
artists who
within
just do
himself the
random
courage to
bullshit like
face the
this in the
unknown.
background just to fill out
He
the scene.
drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
I appreciate you.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115.
Another
He
drink.
spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall. I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you?
Let me check my email real
Please
quick.
speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step. Okay, fine, you're not going to do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of two open doors...
Oh, I remember this ending.
On his left.
Oh, no.
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to
Also,
make a
crows
decision.
go... What?
It can't exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something.
Was part of this ending going through the door? Or...
This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there?
Fucking unity.
Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all.
The part why David Whedon's so interesting to me is because he takes years to make these games. They're very artsy, they're not big commercial products, and he always sells them cheap as well. So I always wonder, how does he, make a living? I've never really looked into him all that much. It's always itched my mind.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, this time I think I will listen to him. Huh? I can't put in any more. Is it a bunch of different computers, each one saying it needs an input?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
But wait. Okay. actually pressing different buttons on the controller? No. But something's going on there.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a
The thing is, there's still a
single
lot
person
more we
here
could do on the
either.
right door as
Feeling
well,
a
isn't there?
wave
We
of
could answer the
disbelief,
phone, we
Stanley
can
decided to
turn
go
around
up
when he
to
asks
his
us to.
boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Good time for water break.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused. You do realize
I'm
there's
making
no
a profound
choice or
statement about
anything in here,
art,
right?
Mr.
If I'd
Narrator.
said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Who did this? Who put a piece of cardboard under the...
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about
That
this
pipe
with your
doesn't need
friends, you'll
anything
say, "Oh, did you get the broom
Well, no, it's
closet
above the
ending?
ceiling, okay.
The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Was it? This was after the beginner's guide,
I've come to a
wasn't
very
it?
definite conclusion about what's going on right now.
I feel like...
You're dead. You got
Actually,
to
let me
the broom
Google it.
closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed in front of your screen. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it
October
begins to
1st, 2015.
decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead.
21st... Never mind, okay, so
Fallen
this...
prey to
Okay.
any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human
what?
to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Oh, no, wait, I want to check what he said. Oh, he just said that humans can die. Okay, cool. Still, then, it's still very funny. He went from Stanley Parable to Beginner's Guide. Which, I mean, I'm well aware this game is not a joke. Well, it is a joke, but it's a complex joke.
Second player, it's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do
Which,
any
yeah,
worse
does
than
have
the
some
person who
funny
came before
satire
you.
commentary to do. Who is a fucking... It does go down. But it's so funny that still he went from this to Beginner's Guide, which takes itself way more seriously,
You
at the very
too?
least.
Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus?
A cat?
Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
I need to go get one. I genuinely had another delivery to get. That's the second... what? Okay. That's the second piece of kit I'd ordered today. Well, not today, but... Bluetooth adapter so I can connect my AirPods to the PlayStation. Not going to set up right now, just in case it fucks something up. Alright.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk?
But I
All
remember
because
this,
he
just keep
believed
sleeping.
everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
I think I know
All
how you
my
program something
coworkers
like this.
blinking mysteriously out of existence in a
I actually
single
think
moment
it can
for
be
no
surprisingly
reason at
simple. The
all.
hard part is getting
None of
everything
it
to be in
made
the
any
right
logical
place.
sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example,
But the actual
why
getting like
couldn't
an
he see his
infinitely
feet
looping
when he
corridor
looked
is actually
down?
quite easy, I
Why
think.
did doors close
I
automatically
think
behind him
it's just
wherever he
level
went?
instancing.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
So what you do
Were
is
they
you have
simply
a
repeating?
hitbox,
No, Stanley said to himself,
or sorry,
this
a
is all
collider,
too strange. This can't be real.
or a trigger,
And at last, he came to the
and
conclusion
then when you
that had been on the
hit
tip
that,
of
it
his
then
tongue.
spawns
He
a
just
copy
hadn't
of a
found the
level
words for it. I'm dreaming!
in front of you.
He yelled. This is all a dream.
And then it despawns
Oh,
previous ones
what
as
a
well, so
relief
it
Stanley felt
conserves
to have
memory.
finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to
And that's
lose
how you
his
can
job.
have things which
He
actually
wasn't
loop
crazy
onto
after
themselves
all.
and stuff like that,
And he
probably.
thought to himself,
I mean, there's
suppose
probably
I'll
different
wake
ways
up
to do it.
soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then
No,
he
right.
imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
I'm really stupid.
So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
Jump up.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself.
Good boy.
I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
It's a shame I won't be able to stream for Wii games. Well, I could. I think I now know how to use OBS.
Okay.
So in theory, I could hook up my laptop, which I'm not sure where it is. And
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is
I could
Stanley.
try connecting it.
I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
Are you sure?
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Interesting. We This computer is different. Alright. Something's going on with that.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the
All
door
right.
on his left.
Let's go to the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door.
Wow, yes. This room. Okay. We're going to go through this again, and this time we're going to pick up the phone.
It's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Do you know what?
Look, Stanley, I think... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
eBay notification. Yeah, I noticed my Wii was delivered, thanks. No, which is it? No. Could it be it doesn't count this as like another loot? So it's not counted with death as like a new run or something?
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
What I would hope is maybe in this stream I can get through all like the base game content and leave a
Stanley took the first open
Ultra
door
Deluxe for later. I had a funny idea where every stream I'll do like a different
Stanley
name
was so bad at following
rather than do it in
directions,
numbers
it's
like I
incredible
normally
he
do.
wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking
Fuck,
for
we can
me,
even refuse to answer a phone and then go back the correct way. I don't know if I'd
This
end
is
up
it,
any different
Stanley.
though.
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Oh.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife
Fuck
who'd want to commit
you.
their life to you? I'm
Fuck
trying to make
you.
a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Oh.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this.
It's just a really
The
complicated
next
way to
time
tell
the
me to
screen
touch grass.
asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Programming a clock must be really fucking annoying, actually. I wonder, how exactly do you program that? I mean, maybe you could make it just as simple as just make the clock. Just make it every 1 second it rotates by however many degrees that is. And then every minute it then rotates the other one, and then every hour it rotates the other one. You could do it that way. But then you need a way to smooth out the animation as well.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried...
Oh dear.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on. When Stanley came to a set of
Okay,
two open doors,
where did I
he
go
entered the
for
door
my
on
last
his
route?
left.
Oh, I answered the phone. Okay.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Right.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Here we are.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
What's the one which was actually visible?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Please,
What could it mean?
computer I can interact with.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story. I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not? All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything? Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Adventure line?
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? No, I'm done. We're leaving it up to the line from now on. You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, Are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Okay. Okay, that's pretty crazy. How? Alright.
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Screenshot. Ah, okay.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through...
We've been on this route for a while.
Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart. You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction? Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild.
Oh.
Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Alright, here we go. Huh. How did you do that? I suppose it's as simple as having each part of a hallway be modular, and then just deleting the part and then placing a new part whilst it's off screen. Funny thing that you realise about video games once you actually start making them is that half it's just really elaborate illusions.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role
Like
in
right
our
here.
awesome new story.
There you go, you
No
can...
lines or monitor rooms.
Here you go, you
Just
can
don't
see the
acknowledge
divider
it.
between the
We should be
modular parts.
fine.
There you go, there's how he designed it. You can visibly see it. Yeah, you don't see that anywhere else. That's right here. This is where this modular part of the hallway ends, and this part of it begins. Likely. It could also be coincidence, but that looks more like the design to me.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there
I
must
love
be a
just
reverse
walking
door
a
that leads
circle.
here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really?
Attempt
No,
to make
it
up a
can't be.
story here.
I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the
Alright, I
cycle?
want to check that.
The,
Just
whatever
shy
it
of 20
is that made
minutes.
this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
Holy
So,
shit, it's accurate. That is
okay. I guess now we just wait. You know,
Yeah,
I
that's
suppose in
correct.
some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I
Got
hope
the
that's
ending where
where
he
we are
didn't
right
actually have a
now.
wife
We'll find out,
20
won't
minutes ago.
we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Oh God, what was that noise?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's... Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Right, got some water. I didn't even listen to what he said. I went
Coming
straight
to
in
a
the closet,
staircase,
muted my
Stanley
mic, and
walked
went
upstairs
downstairs.
to his boss's office.
No, not again. Yeah, I didn't even listen to what he said. Yeah, this is... What? Extreme bathrooms. A Time magazine with just a fucking clock on it. Great. Yeah, this is different now. So this is what I remember. Oh boy. Oh no. Man, I used to like the elevator game on Roblox. Doesn't David Ryan like actually play Roblox horror games? I don't see how a Roblox game can be scary, except maybe Stop It Slender in very specific circumstances. Man, you never get this fucking far into a song. Alright, good. Oh my god. Is this whole thing a bit? Fuck's sake. Alright, this is a bit. Hey, so why was it green the first time? And
Stanley was
different?
once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Now I'm not going to do it. If I remembered what it was, I would have done it. I remembered it started with a 2. Now I'm just going to appreciate the
Stanley
environment
just sat
artist
around twiddling his
doing their
thumbs.
work.
Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
How many different books are there here? They don't look procedurally generated. These two are the same. These two are the same. These two are the same. Is that security camera even going to catch anything that's so high
But
up?
it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
I found the dark corner. I really want to play a Cry of Fear as well, but of course that's also Steam only. It is free though.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion
I
in
want
his
to play
chest,
survival horror which isn't Resident Evil and also isn't Sick and
to
Honest.
question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him?
Maybe I
This
should replay Silent Hill
would
2
not
remake.
go unanswered for long.
I would play Silent Hill 3, but it's not there's no version of it on PS5.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
I
Mind
do have it
Control
on
Facility.
Xbox.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Do you think a
The door
heist with
behind him was
Markiplier
locked
was inspired
shut.
by this at all?
Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oh?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Enough of that. Like it's updated. Jesus. I really wonder what path the devs thought would be the first. I feel like I've used that exact grass asset. Then again, it is literally just grass. Man, imagine if it was that easy to get a fucking job. Oh shit! Yeah, we could jump down to the other scaffolding, of course. How hadn't I thought of that? Are they being genuine? When they said people couldn't tell what was up or down, I assume they meant that like maybe it branched out too much afterwards, and then people forgot which way they went. Well, this is a Metal Gear Solid 3 moment with Sorrow. Is that certainly took some time to figure out. Okay. Oh. Capybara. Are people really obsessed with capybaras even back in 2012? Alright. There was just this one. There was a room with chairs, and there wasn't there. And then final exit. This is really interesting. I would love to put stuff like this in my own
Back
games.
on track to where he was supposed to be in the story. Where were all of
Right.
his co-workers? Oh, I don't know. How about they're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing. Does that sound plausible to end this injustice forever?
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this.
No, I'm streaming!
As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path.
No, I'm streaming, I can't do
Stop
it.
now, and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
I wonder if something would happen if you actually do just turn off your fucking PlayStation. Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Come on, give me more.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
Did I
missed
do
a
something
memo.
wrong? Am I not going to get the computer ending? We'll wait.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his
What,
left.
what more is there?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley
Boombox.
decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office,
Alright, and now
Stanley
he's
was
gonna
once
freak
again
out.
stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the
Oh.
narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated,
Hey, I
Stanley
mean,
calmly
Mai
walked
uploaded the
forward
playlist like
into the
yesterday.
opened passageway.
That'll probably be good. I haven't listened to it yet. Alright, that's a really obscure reference. So this is a YouTuber named Mai. Or at least that's what their channel is called. And they just drop playlists of music, mostly Japanese, I think. They just drop it periodically. And they don't own any of the music. I don't know if it's legal what they're doing. But it's basically just like Japanese anime. Well, not anime, but sometimes anime. But mostly just like
Stanley
Japanese.
walked straight
It's
ahead through the
basically a
large
Japanese
door
music
that read
radio show,
Mind
but on
Control
YouTube.
Facility.
It's really cool. And they actually got some of my favourite music on there. It's so good.
The lights
Very
rose
good
on an
YouTube channel.
enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature
Still only
revealed.
curious about that.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I thought we went down.
But here was the proof,
okay.
the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over
Wait, so isn't there like a puzzle we have to
life,
solve here?
for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I think I remember the endings which happened here. One of them is the freedom ending. I think the other one we can actually choose to take control, can't we?
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that.
Oh?
I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say,
Hold it, I got a phone call to take.
2 minutes.
All right, 2 minutes.
Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much.
Where's Freet?
You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Alright.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Can I go back? No, okay. There's one more thing we need to do on the right, I think. 2 more things we need to do on the right. Fuck.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Oh, did it always say loading?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
We need to take the left door on the right.
Now,
and then we need to see if we can jump off
their true
the
nature revealed. Each
platform.
bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
There's a comparison to be made to social media or YouTube here.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Things I'm pretty sure I remember it being a way to actually solve that puzzle.
Utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this... blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Well, would you look at that? We got the good ending. Oh, beat the game, trophy. Complete with Stanley Parable. Lovely. Get your first trophy. Well, thank you. That's already 18% trophy, so it's not a lot of trophies. Oh, the test trophy. Quit the game and then start it again. You can't jump. Play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday. 8. Click on door 435 times. Complete the game in under 4.5 minutes. Settings world champion. And super go outside. Go outside. Oh, that was...
All of his co-workers were gone.
Alright, what door number was it? Was it 4:30?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the trophy?
Oh, yeah, it doesn't start a whole
Click
thing.
a door 5 times? Is that all you think a trophy is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks? Now, suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks. No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this trophy to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way no matter the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417. 417. 417.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437. Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Hello, Kada. Hello.
Now, back to door number 437.
Don't worry, that's just a wee. Don't worry about it.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
419.
is great. You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
416. Yeah, where is door 416?
When Stanley came to a set of
No.
2 open doors,
No!
he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee
gonna
lounge
do
first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh no.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for? Here, yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. No, wait. Where are you going? Right. Where were we?
Pretty cool.
Oh no, stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Oh, this escalated quickly.
No! Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me... No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was... Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
Oh, cool.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back. How long was I sitting there?
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the trophy? Click a door 5 times? Is that all you think a trophy is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now, suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
No. I'm still not feeling it. I want this trophy to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way no matter the cost.
Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417? Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437. Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so. Now, back to door number 437. Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy. All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk. Yes, this is great. You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
All right, I'm just going to assume this is 416. No? Four, 1, 6. This is no. 4, 1, 6. I don't think there is a 416. Alright, okay. So according to Google, this is 416, but because of new content, we can't do it. Okay, what is there to do? Oh, going on
When
right.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Right, I just want to
The
see what
lounge
happens
was
if we
grand,
try to follow
majestic.
the mind control
Perhaps,
ending
but
this
eager
way.
to get back to business,
Might be
Stanley
the
took
same.
the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close.
Never mind, I guess I misremembered that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content is tempting, but I think there's still
When
more in
Stanley
the base
came
game
to a set
for
of
us.
2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Maybe we already
Now the
got
monitors
everything.
jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally
feel like I'm
monitored
forgetting
in this
something.
place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
Alright. Should we do bonus content?
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Motherfucker. Okay, so it's just fair. Okay. Alright, let's do this.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the trophy? Click a door 5 times? Is that all you think a trophy is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks? Now, suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
I'm really hungry.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks. No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this trophy to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way no matter the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417? Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437. Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so. Now, back to door number 437.
I can't believe this trophy is taking me like 3 tries.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the call right? Back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk. Yes, this is great. You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
We haven't actually used crouch at all
We've
yet.
almost got it. Now the copy machine, do that one again.
Okay. Wait.
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 clicks on door 43. Yes! We did it!
Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today.
All right. Right, so I'm pretty sure there is more stuff in base game, which I'm just forgetting, but or don't have brain cells to reach. Yeah, let's just start the new content, I guess.
for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Alright, narrator, let's see what we got.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet.
I don't remember who it was, but I remember
just
like the
beginning
devs
of a
trolled a
mesmerizing
YouTuber
adventure.
by updating their website or something real time.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley. All right.
The jump circle.
The jump circle?
Alright.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Why is it always this room? What I mean is a very obscure, specific, hyper-specific reference to original Destiny. This is one of the first rooms in the entire game of Destiny, and for some reason it's stuck in my head, and it has been since 2013. So when you first come into a wall, when you first go up the stairs, this is it. You got a walkway, you got a thing on the right, and then you got an entry door here, and then you got an exit door here. Oh, there you go.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks, Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Uh-oh.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something! Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares? Oh, never mind. You're not a dog. Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Why do I want more games with environments like this, where it's just charmingly dated? Sky genuinely looks really nice though. I really like Stanley Parable. I don't know how intentional the kind of dated look to it is. It reminds me of Gmod. So it feels really intentional.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Buy on pressurized gas. Okay. Is this like your first dollar? This is your first sale? I can't wait for Persona 3 references coming up, guys. Ah.
Je suis dans la memory zone, seul sur l'abri de l'eau, et je n'attends plus que toi, mon amour.
Oh, let me see.
C'est là, dans la memory
Hey, there's
zone,
a...
où je me remémore les jours, où je t'ai rencontré.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more
it's just
than
Jim Sterling.
games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
I wish I was able to experience it blind, because that shit, when I first saw it, was so fucking funny to me. It is every game ever made. I assume that is Jim Sterling. I've never been particularly interested. Didn't they go down some kind of spiral recently and now people hate them or something? Or was that someone else I'm thinking of? Oh, for a moment I thought that was a fucking flag.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable
Source
is both a
SDK.
richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some
Genuine
of the most
software.
enjoyable,
Is this like
surprising, and rewarding
the
choices
Source
I've ever
engine?
been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do
I really
that.
like that
Couldn't
dialogue is
resist the
PlayStation
urge
specific.
to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
Right. I'll note down adaptation, sure. It's really hard to decide if a review is really pretentious or if it's just a good review. Is that a bird? Please.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games.
I've never heard of
haven't looked at
Pressurized
these
Gas
in
before.
years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here.
Oh, I know
Surely
it's
these
coming up
reviews
here.
were glowing as well, weren't they?
Alright, best line reading ever coming up.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
We need a narrator and more stuff. He's brilliant. Unfunny. Oh God.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did.
but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall
All right,
have.
so I remember the skip button. I didn't remember it being at this point, though, but yeah. I know what happens here. This is actually probably my favourite moment of the whole game, actually. So that's why I remember it.
The second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the
Alright, so now he's
elimination
repeating
working
himself.
backwards. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your Greek gift of mortal and yet timeless thought?
Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. 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 Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their pressurized gas review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on how exactly pressurized gas works. Perhaps that would have been a smart thing to check on before I went on about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is who runs pressurized gas will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with pressurized gas altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
Pressurized gases Steam. That's why I didn't remember it, because on PC... Okay, that's interesting. Thanks, Reddit. So on the PC version, he does indeed say Steam, but on console versions, he says pressurized gas. I guess I don't want to mention Steam on the consoles, oh dear. Steam is kind of demolishing the competition right now. It's kind of sad. I really hope that deliberate leak by Xbox that Steam might be coming to Xbox is true. That would actually be huge. That would be really big for Xbox.
Okay,
because I'm of the opinion that
Stanley.
Xbox is doing a really bad job right now. I think adding Steam would be really good for it.
That last one was, well...
Granted, it still makes them only
30,
almost as
45
good
minutes.
as a PC.
It's not unendurable by any means, but it's
Well, there's
Of
really
course,
only
it's
so much I
cheaper,
can
so
ramble
that's
on
why
to
you get
myself about. I
gaming
know it's
consoles. It's
shocking,
cheaper
isn't
than
it? But at
PC.
any rate,
And don't
I
say,
do
"Oh,
suggest that we
it
not
doesn't
press the
actually
button
cost that
again.
much to get a PC."
I think
Yes,
the
it
skip
fucking
button
does.
has been aptly
Yes, it
demonstrated,
does.
and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window, or
Doesn't this
something
guy
like
have a
that. Do you see
cameo? I feel
window
like he has a
anywhere?
cameo.
A
How much do you
porthole?
get paid for
A
this game?
sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child. Wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety, that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, 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 I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel
This
right
is
now
vaguely
like I am
adjacent
not a
to
work
I am
of fiction.
thinking, therefore
I
I
feel as
am.
though I occupy space in this
So
world
this is
again,
technically
and I've
him
cast a
blabbering more
shadow
about
onto the
philosophy.
wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I
He
feel
even
as
just mentioned
certain about
Plato's
this
cave.
as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it. Oh, hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me.
Apparently at some point 5 minutes ago, I
ever
accidentally
known.
started a
It was
voice memo
space
on my
without
phone
consequence, without action
and just
or
recorded for the last
outcome.
5
It was
minutes.
divorced entirely from the question
What?
of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending.
Also, I love
no
that when I
singular
googled
outcome of
pressurized
events,
gas,
not if
first
all
result
events
was
existed in the
scientific
same
terms.
moment, and I felt
Pressurized gas,
freed.
the
I
top
felt
result,
unburdened
and then
by
the
the need
second
to
result
manifest
was
a
Reddit
particular
saying,
outcome
"What's
entertaining
pressurized
me.
gas in
I
Stanley
saw that I
Parable?"
could allow myself to
That might
exist
be
along
just
all
Google detecting
timelines, and that
my
each of
gaming
them
habits
was
and
simply a
filling it in,
strand
but
in the
I don't
web
know.
of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid, as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, "Entertain us." It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, "He's talking too much," they said. "First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world." As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, "Oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place," while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves that they couldn't help but leave a negative review on pressurized gas. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amused. But they didn't understand the game was never. The end is never the end, 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 is never.
I love this kind of aesthetic. I love grey, especially when combined with natural imagery. I don't know why. That's my favorite kind of imagery. Near uses it a good bit. Do you know what? Screenshot that shit. Oh boy. Are we underwater? Sounds like it. Hello again, Koda. I'd also like to say I really love the game's soundtrack. There's not a whole lot of it, but what there is, I love. Alright. Now, I believe it's not the
Stanley
end.
decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
We never figured out what was going on with these computers. Yeah, now there's new content.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Unfortunately, I think that's it for now. I'll definitely come back to us. Jolly good. I love this so far.